Speak of the shadows, how are you, Zach? While you were investigating the Vory, I got my hands on some info that's gonna let me finally take care of a problem that's been bothering me for a while now.
What information was that?
I spent a part of my life in a rehabilitation camp after my arrest in Ophir. It was the worst time of my existence, and I've always wondered how I'd ended up here. Who had turned us in? We were just a group of street kids. We would steal food here and there, but we weren't dangerous. However, we were arrested and deported to a camp like hardened criminals or terrorists. What happened followed me for many years, until I learned that an important member of the Vory clique was responsible for the deportation of dozens of people. Most of them were innocent, but a nuisance for the mob. I want to find that guy. I want to know if it's he who got us deported. I want to understand why, and make him pay. For me, and my companions, of course, but also for those poor people who hadn't asked for anything.
I understand. That man seems to be a real scumbag. I'll help you find him.
Thank you, Zach.
Why should we be going into that warehouse? If memory serves, this area isn't quite the most... It is a place for more shady characters than us, I should say. People who might not take too kindly to us trespassing.
They should be more worried about us, Scott. They owe me answers, and I'm going to get them one way or another.
Very well. Excellent. Okay then, off we go.
Who are you? And what the fuck are you doing here? This is private property, and you have no business here.
We don't give a damn about your warehouse. What we want are answers, and like it or not, you're gonna talk.
Stop! That's it! I'll tell you what you want to know.
Very well. You're the one who used to turn in people who were an obstacle to the ASC, right? The one who was sending innocents to rehabilitation camps?
No, look, it's way more complicated than that. Yeah, sure, I was in charge of making up evidence back when proof was needed to frame some of them. But with the ASC out there headhunting, now all you gotta do is send an anonymous letter to get someone deported. But most of the time, it wasn't I who was in charge of deciding who had to leave. We would get together and present those who might threaten us. It wasn't a single man's decision. Anton wasn't our chief yet.
Not most of the time, but it happened. You sent a bunch of street kids straight to a camp, and I don't see what threat they represented, so? Why? Personal vengeance? What the hell did they do to you?
Nothing, but a girl from that gang came to see me. She told me that another kid had overheard us, and she wanted to turn us in. It was believable. And since that snot-nosed kid could have talked about it with his gang, I turned in the whole group.
You're lying. It doesn't make sense. None of us would have turned in someone in the group.
I know what I'm talking about. Why would I lie to you? The kid, I think her name was Gloria.
You lie! Gloria would have never done anything like that, you son of a... You're gonna die, scumbag.
Niesha, I understand your anger, but killing him won't give you back your years spent in a camp. Come on, leave him alone and let's go.
That guy's a monster, Zach. He used the most sinister characters of our corporations and manipulated them to get rid of poor innocent people. But you're right. This won't give me back what he took from me, nor what he took from others. I'll follow you.
What I would suggest, and it is just a suggestion, but what I would suggest is a trip home for some comforting foods. A warm meal of pancakes and tea, or perhaps a trip to the bar for a beverage, or 3.
Scott, it's all right. I'm fine.
Hello there. Ready for a fight? A challenge? Good luck. Ready, Gambler? That boy! Damn impressive! Your reward for victory! Good luck! You're gonna need it! That boy! Damn impressive! Your reward for victory! Watch close, folks. This fight's gonna be downright barbaric, and I can't wait!
boy! Damn!
About what?
You don't know me, and I want to keep it that way. But I'll tell you, I'm with the opposition, and I know you're a wanted man too. ASC's hunting you. Heard you're quite the traveler. Keeping that in mind, my cell chief thinks we might be able to scratch each other's backs a little, considering we have the same enemies. He's got a deal for you. He'll be hiding in the back of the Curiosities, waiting for you.
All right. Sure. Hi.
Hello there, Mr. Mancer. Good to see you.
How have you been coping with the ASC's rise to power?
It's not me I'm worried about. You have no idea the number of our people who've been arrested, tortured, killed. But all of Victor's brutality is starting to backfire. The people are getting fed up. They're joining us in droves. Problem is, it's not easy to organize everyone, especially when we don't know who the ASC spies are and aren't. But we still need to get the truth out to the people. It's the reason our publications are so important. It's just one voice of reason, standing up against the relentless lies and propaganda the regime's spreading. It's... I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm just preaching to the choir.
I heard you thought we might be able to help each other.
You heard right. Me and my group publish the real news, so people get to hear what's really going on past the propaganda. Problem is, we're having trouble getting reliable information. As you can imagine, we're being hunted too, which makes it harder to meet up with our informers, a lot of whom are turning up dead. Rumor is the army's reducing its number of troops, but it's just a rumor for now.
I could probably talk to my former captain to verify it. That all you're looking for?
No. We also know that we lost the war to Aurora, but don't have any details about it. Not a single soldier even came back from the front. We want to know what happened. How'd we lose?
Dandolo's probably heard and probably has a better political perspective and understanding of it than anyone else I'd know. That it?
No. One last thing. We heard about a rebellion in a prison camp a while back, but it wasn't the prisoners who rose up, it was the mutants working there. Heard a lot escaped.
And do you want to know details? Sure. For that, I can go right to the source. Mutants have settled down in a place I know. I'll see if I can get some answers for you. I'll be back when I find them.
It would be a big help. Looks like I wasn't wrong in asking you. Be careful out there.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I heard some mutants escaped from a prisoner camp. You hear anything about that?
Hasn't everyone?
Not in Ophir, where the news never went public, no. It was only a rumor there. What do you know?
I know if Ophir's men hear of it, it will cause trouble for us. For those among us who are still slaves there.
It could also give your brothers back there some hope again.
And to show them that we are able to rebel and escape? Yes, hope. So I will tell you, for my people, life in camp was hard, to say it lightly. Hard labor during the days, brutality during the nights. The prisoners would take out their frustration of being locked up out on them. The guards and prisoners alike battered them with their frustrations. Then, one day, one of ours struck a guard who was trying to stop him from going to the aid of a brother. After he fled, the guards then stated that, if he did not come out, they would execute 10 random mutants. That was the moment the rebellion began. A prisoner from Aurora helped my brothers. With tools, they incited riot. Blood flowed. Many died. Some escaped. But, at the start, few thought to flee. At the beginning, they wanted only better lives where they were. It became obvious, though, the repression that would come would be worse than ever. That the only chance for life was somewhere else. Scum, the mutant who struck the guard, led them to freedom. They escaped without even being chased. The story came directly from Scum. A great speaker. A great hero.
Thanks for the information.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
Not much news in Ophir about Aurora defeating Abundance. You heard anything?
Word is that Green Hope's defeat brought an end to the fighting. Aurora apparently took control of the hydroponics center using militia alongside Technomancers to support their army. And at first, Wisdom showed himself a worthy military strategist, using the militia in battle. Such people, properly motivated, can be surprisingly effective. You'd have to bear witness to the poorer classes of Aurora to fully grasp how badly they were mistreated, to fully grasp how much the mere promise of a place in the council would motivate them to fight, to fully grasp how it helped to deliver quite a blow to Abundance. And while Aurora adopted new strategies, Abundance remained predictable. They had almost no Technomancers, since it's becoming harder to find them in Ophir with each passing day. An interesting development, yes? And one that wiped out their army.
Yeah, thanks for the info. Captain, good to see you. Rumor has it that the number of soldiers in the barracks is declining.
Despite official reasoning that it's downsizing because we're no longer at war. Unofficially, it's because many of your colleagues have been arrested, and even more replaced.
Replaced?
By members of the ASC who report directly to him, and now make up half my company, and who should be out watching over the population, but instead spend their time watching over us in support of the Colonel's little power grab. Just saying. If the man decided to mount a coup against the Dowser, not sure there's much we could do to stop him.
Hi.
Hello there, Mr. Mancer. Good to see you. So, what did you learn?
I was able to get some answers for you.
Great. I knew you would. Go on, what did you find?
Keep names out of this. We clear?
Of course. Our sources are always protected. Go on.
According to my source, the Army's reducing its troops by 50%, and the official reasons are the rising rates of desertion, the number of Technomancer arrests, and the shrinking size of the standing force during peacetime. But she says this doesn't explain everything, as many good officers and soldiers are being let go without reason, and replaced by members of the ASC. In fact, the fear is if the ASC attempted a coup today, the Army couldn't stand in the way, because there are too many ASC entrenched in its ranks.
That's terrifying. And it's news that'll hit the hearts of people in this city. All the people with soldiers and their families, soldiers who fought hard, now being fired only to make room for spies. What else did you find out?
I talked to an expert on corporation politics who had first-hand knowledge about Aurora and us.
And how'd he say Abundance lost?
Aurora's troops were led by a general named Wisdom, who used Technomancers. And apparently they've got a lot more than we do, especially recently.
So Abundance arrests and detains you and your brothers, our greatest weapons, and fall because of it. Guess that's karma.
But what's more, they rallied the common people, recruited local and national militias who were feverishly motivated by the promise of gaining a voice on Aurora's council. Aurora became the first corporation to empower its people to fight. So while Aurora brought everyone together for the war, strengthening their numbers, Abundance fought weakened, bleeding their ranks, arresting its own Technomancers. Our army, well-trained and well-equipped as it is, didn't stand a chance. We lacked the Technomancers to lead the charge and the motivation of Aurora's militias to persevere.
That's incredible. By giving power to the people, Aurora all but assured its victory. The power of unification is real. And the self-sabotaging nature of our government ruled by paranoia and fear cost us the war.
I also talked to a mutant who heard about the camp breakout and the mutant who led it.
Fantastic. And?
The mutants in that camp were living in hell, day in and day out. They'd finally just had enough. So one day, a guard was beating on a mutant too tired to work. As much as the others pleaded, the guard wouldn't stop. So another mutant stepped in and hit him back. The guards threatened to kill 10 mutants in retaliation. And that lit the fuse. With the help of a prisoner from Aurora, the mutants got their hands on some tools, and the riot started. They weren't trying to escape. They just wanted the abuse to stop. But the way the guards reacted made the mutants fear that it would only get worse. So they got out, led by a mutant named Scum. It's now a bit of a legend among them.
And where'd they go?
I can't tell you that.
Fair enough. You need to protect your sources, right? Another story that people need to hear. It's what happens when you mistreat beasts long enough. Eventually, they'll turn on you. Thanks for all the information. Once I write the articles and get them out there for people to read, I think the people are gonna have a wake-up call about how different the truth is from the propaganda their government's feeding them.
Hope it makes a difference.
You and me both. But real change has to start with the truth. Hold on. I've got one more thing to ask of you, if I could. One more thing to really make sure we can ignite some change.
And what's that?
We put our news on the city walls. The man who's been doing it for us lives in the exchange. Getting there, though, has honestly gotten too dangerous for us.
So you want me to be your delivery man?
A deliverer of truth. To those who have been starved of it, yes. If you would do that for us.
Yeah, I can do it for you. I'll see you later. Hello? I brought back some articles to hang around your city.
Then keep your voice down. Quiet. Tell our mutual friend that soon, these will be hanging on every other wall in the city.
How you gonna make that happen?
I'll make stencils of the text and then go around the city with volunteers and hit every wall we find. Soon, everyone in Ophir will know the truth.